and
Yo,
the
Smoker
island.
is such a scrub, yo. Smoker is a scrub and nobody can tell me anything different. I have to give him props. I have to give him props, man. Because after seeing what he ranked for number 2, I had to question in my mind, what would he have for number 1? And if this was not number 1, I would have to come off the video and I probably wouldn't even post it. Oh, say is yo. Boy, it is your boy Sylva, man, back with another video. How y'all doing today on this fine Friday afternoon, man? In today's video, I got a video that's very special in my heart, man. Today I got One Piece on the channel, my favorite anime so far, man. Top 10 most badass moments in One Piece. Now, for all my anime fans, if you actually watch One Piece, you guys should know that the reason why One Piece is so popular is because of the story. The story is so good. Shout out to the creator of One Piece, the author himself, Oda, man. We're about to just kind of critique and see, well, I'm about to critique and see which one is my favorite moment of all time. And without further ado, man, we're gonna just hop right into the video.
There's something to be said about small moments in anime that make a big impression. One Piece is littered with such moments. They serve as
Hey, comment down below who's your favorite One Piece character, man. A lot of people have, different opinions, but me personally, I'm a huge Zoro fan, man. Something about
catalyst
Zoro
for plot progression and character
just so
development.
badass.
They might even provide some foreshadowing of the important events to come. Sometimes they're integral to the overall story or the arc in which they occur, and sometimes they're a juicy accompaniment that might not be central to the
I'm
story,
already getting hyped.
but
I
that
haven't even
definitely
started.
make it better.
I'm already
Almost
getting hyped.
always, they depict courage, heroism, and attitude, qualities
goat,
we look
man.
for in all of
The
our favorite
goat.
anime characters. Naturally, they're all badass moments. On that note, here are the top 10 badass moments in One Piece. There are major plot revelations ahead here, so a spoiler alert is now in full effect. So without further ado, let's get started.
My nigga Zoro! This was definitely badass, 100%. Number 10. Okay, let's see. I need to see what all
Number
he has
10, we
before
have
I
the
can
moment
rate it.
when Zoro cuts Pika in half. The shape-shifting enemy that can turn an entire country into a part of his body gives the Straw Hats immeasurable trouble in the Dressrosa arc. They might laugh at his squeaky voice, but they know better than to make light of one of the top 3 officers of the Don Quixote family. So, to see Zoro, who spent a lot of his time in Dressrosa wandering off and
feel
getting
like
lost,
Pika, he was
cut
running
the
from
stone
that whole
monster in
fight, man.
half is immensely
If he
satisfying.
wasn't, like,
He then proceeds
stalling,
to
I
slice
feel
and
like Pika
dice
would've
Pika,
lost so long
forcing
ago.
him to reveal himself in his true form. Pika's defeat is proof of Zoro's growing strength and skill. It takes him that much.
I think, to be honest, what makes this moment like hype is because of during this scene, Zoro had a flashback with his fight against Mihawk, and that whole scene is so emotional, especially for me. Like I get so emotional when it comes to One Piece, and I don't know why, but this anime that gets you emotional is usually anime that's like top 3 of like your favorite, usually.
To his goal of becoming the world's greatest swordsman. His belief that there's nothing he can't cut makes this one of those moments you can't help but cheer loudly for.
Fire, man. Absolute fire. It's kinda loud in my room. And then the music is what gets you like, woo! Now this moment for sure has to be at least, I can't say top 5
Next up
because
is a
there's a lot of good
hockey-fied
moments.
Luffy knocking out 50,000
I wanna say this is
fishmen
top
in the
6.
Fishman Island arc. When
So far,
Hody Jones
top
boasts
6.
that Luffy and his crew number just 10, whereas he has
I'm already
100,000
getting
men at his
goosebumps, bro. I'm
disposal,
already
even some of the
getting
Straw
goosebumps,
Hats
but
are
I can't-
overwhelmed by the threat. Luffy
watch
reduces
One
that
Piece
threat
at
by
least-
half in an instant. Talk about
I want to
evening
say
the odds,
like
hey?
I watched One Piece like twice. I think because I watched it 3 years ago and I stopped at, I think they have reached at Punk Hazard, and I rewatched the whole thing again. This was like years ago though. Like That's how much
It's a
I
proud
really like
moment
One
for the
Piece.
Straw Hats who
People be
realize their
sleeping on
captain
One Piece,
has
man.
mastered
I just don't
Conqueror's
understand.
Haki. For fans, it's the payoff we get to see after the 2 years Luffy spent training with Rayleigh. What also contributes to making this moment special is the fact that One Piece uses its Haki sparingly. Unlike a lot of other anime that overexpose their power-ups, Haki's a rare commodity in One Piece, mastered by a chosen few and used only in big moments. For Luffy, the incident at Fishman Island is one of his early uses of Haki after the time skip,
I really
but
wish he had
remains an
left the, like,
unforgettable memory.
お前がどんなとこでどういう王になろうと勝手だけどな。海賊の王者は一人で十分だ。
Number 8?
It's another
You put a lot
one-man
in
show at
top
number
10
8 with
moments?
law-cutting Punk Hazard in half. For all of his lectures to
don't get me
Luffy
wrong.
about the virtues of
I
lying
like
low
Law.
and fighting
He's dope,
cautiously,
but
the captain
this
of the
moment is
Heart
top
Pirates
10?
is known to make some big and bold
Number
moves every
8,
now and then.
I
Challenging
probably said number
Doflamingo
9. I
to a
would've said
fight
number
for purely
8. I feel
personal
like
reasons is one.
the previous
Plotting the
scene was
fall of
definitely
Kaido
better.
is another.
But,
As for his
yeah.
flashiest moment in battle, it's
Everyone has
without a
their
doubt
preference.
his dismantling of Virgo and
Yo,
the
Smoker
island.
is such a scrub, yo. Smoker is a scrub, and nobody can tell me anything different. For all my One Piece fans, Smoker, like I don't know what it is. Even with Haki, he is still ass, bro. Somebody like he needs like a power up or
Of Punk
something.
Hazard, showing that he's one of the most imaginative
feel like
devil fruit
Kobe's
powers
better than him,
around.
like,
Law
this
needs
guy
just
is
one
ass.
swing of his blade to cut Virgo in half, despite the latter's body being entirely armored in Haki. In the process, the facility, which produces the main ingredient for Doffy's fake devil fruits, and the mountain it's built on
Actually thinking
also
about it
get
now,
carved
this
beyond
moment was
repair.
kinda-
It's
was
a
kinda,
moment
like,
where you
serious.
can't help but be impressed by the Surgeon of Death.
He cut like the whole island, right? Was it the whole island or like just the factory?
誰も引き返せね
I don't remember if it was the whole island or not.
At number 7, we have a special moment from the Marineford arc, which is crowded with special moments.
Oh my gosh, the goosebumps.
ルフィ
Bro, at this moment speaks so many volumes, man. I know I'm pausing a lot, but like I'm just so hyped, man. Like he is literally challenging the strongest people at the war at the moment, and it's like he's trying so hard. He's reached so far, so close, but he is not ready. He is nowhere near. He can't even take down one admiral. Like not yet, man. But this was hype. No BS. This was
After
hype.
taking the aerial route into the fortress-like
I
marine
think this was the
headquarters, Luffy
moment
gets
he had the
airborne once
Haki
again,
beam.
this time using a pillar of water and a ship's mast to propel
I think
himself
my favorite
towards
admiral
the
is probably,
execution platform and Ace. But standing in his way are the
I
three
think my favorite
admirals.
admiral is
Talking
probably
purely from the
Fujitora,
visual
at least
standpoint, the
now,
image
but-
of the young
but during
upstart
these three,
standing
I'll
up to the
probably
Navy's
say-
3 strongest
I'll probably
warriors
say
and
Kizaru.
directly challenging their authority makes for a great poster. However, Luffy recklessly facing off against Aokiji, Kizaru and Ekainu is important not only for the visuals and the events taking place. It seems in all likelihood to be a foreshadowing of the final confrontation between the man who will be the Pirate King and the authority standing in his way. We can't wait to see what happens when the anime
Yeah, I'm
eventually
getting
winds
goosebumps,
down
man.
to
I
such a
can't-
finale.
I can't take this, man. I'm getting goosebumps. Like Soge King, yes sir. Challenging the world government. I would definitely say this is top 5.
Up next
I wouldn't
is
say
a
top
similar
6. I would
scene
say- I would
from
say
the
top
Ennis
5.
Lobby arc, this time with the Straw Hats challenging not the Navy, but the world government.
'Cause
And
Luffy,
this
like,
time
he
too,
doesn't
the
really
reason
care
is
about,
personal.
like,
Robin's
who's
being
in his
captured by the
way,
CP9,
how much power they
the
have.
world government's
He
top
just
secret
wants
group
to
of
do whatever he
assassins.
wants. He's just
Luffy and
reckless.
gang break into Ennis Lobby, the notoriously fortified judicial island that serves as the organization's headquarters. Rarely do we see the Straw Hats stand as a single team in one frame. Most of the time they're off doing their own thing, but here, seeing them all together on the roof of the courthouse and standing shoulder to shoulder
Chopper.
as they challenge the CP9 and its leader Spandam,
Yo, I hope
it's
Chopper gets,
impossible
like-
not to feel
like
a
some
rush
type
of
of power-up,
excitement.
like,
The detestable Spandam points
in
to
the
the
future,
futility of their challenge,
episodes.
bragging that the small crew's no match for the government's might. In response, Luffy has Soge King shoot a flaming arrow at the government flag. It's a declaration of war that shows
I'm not
Luffy
gonna
has
lie
no
though. I'm not
problem
gonna
picking
lie. The moment was dope and all, but realistically, the only people in the Straw Hats who actually can do something is Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. Usopp, Chopper, was Frankie there? Frankie was there, but he wasn't doing much. And then everybody else, they're not doing much. Like, let's be real here. Like, they're not really doing much. Like, they need some serious power ups, man. Like, at least like some type of hockey boom. At least like, you know, obviously now in the present time of One Piece, some of them do have
the
hockey
fight
boom,
with someone bigger
or
and
did have
stronger
hockey
than
boom,
him.
This video is gonna be long. I already know. I'm gonna have to edit a lot. Damn. Okay. Actually, thinking about it now, this is definitely top 5. 100%.
The Straw Hats walk to Arlong Park to challenge Arlong takes the 5th spot.
Yo.
This was at a time when the crew had only 4 members, and it comes
Yo,
right
Nami's
after that
backstory
unforgettable
is
scene
so
where the
depressing,
usually
bro.
ballsy Nami breaks down in tears and asks Luffy to
It's
help
so
her save her
depressing.
village from the tyranny of the Arlong pirates. Handing his hat to his future navigator for safekeeping, Luffy gathers his troops, which comprises of
Yo,
Zoro,
this
Sanji,
was
and
so
Usopp,
hype.
and
No
the 4
BS.
march to Arlong Park. It's an iconic moment reminiscent of many a memorable walking scene from the movies. When sidekicks Johnny and Yosaku tell the villagers these 4 men are worth betting their lives on, you might find
The music
yourselves
is
nodding in
just
agreement.
top
Again,
notch.
in terms of imagery, this moment makes the same impact as the previously discussed challenge to the world government at Enies Lobby and the Straw Hats' farewell to Vivi in the Alabasta arc. It just goes to show that putting the Straw Hats together in one frame is a thing of magic. I think for a lot of fans, this was a turning point in the series where they went from liking the series to loving it. And I can see
I really wish that
exactly
was the case, because a lot of people, every time someone has said they've never watched One Piece, it's always the same excuse: it's too long, it's almost 1,000 episodes. There's a reason why it's almost 1,000 episodes, because it's really good. Don't judge a book by its cover. The beginning is always slow. Enjoy the journey, and it's what you learn during that journey is what's gonna help you at the end. Like, the story is just top 3 of all time. Top 3.
why.
A lot of people sleeping on this anime, man. Sleeping. Wake them up.
アーロンってのはドイツだ。
Strongest pirate. Oh, I'm lagging.
The Marineford arc is the one arc in One Piece
Strongest
that's guaranteed
pirate
to make the viewer an
in the verse
emotional
right
wreck,
now. Well, not right
thanks
now,
to its
but at that
numerous
time.
acts of courage, betrayals, and god-awful tragedy. It also has one of the most powerful
Well, honestly,
conclusions as
he might
Shanks
still be the
appears
strongest
during
right
the
now.
final assault and puts an end to what's now just senseless fighting. Due to this intervention, Luffy gets away safely, Akainu is stopped, thousands of lives are saved, and the fallen get the dignity they deserve in death. It's a moment that reveals the true strength of this Yonko, who's remained a mystery to us all these years despite being a central figure in Luffy's life. That Fleet Admiral Sengoku is
Now,
willing to listen to
if
him,
this
an
was
adversary and a
Whitebeard in
pirate,
his prime,
raises our expectations for what Shanks is capable
This
of in the
whole
future.
fight,
This is
this
also
whole
one of
war,
the few times
it
we
would have
see
been
Shanks as the
completely
powerful
different.
pirate that he is,
If this was
with his
Whitebeard
ship
in his
and
prime,
crew by
but-
his side. Cameo
But then
appearances
again,
don't get
if
any more
Whitebeard wasn't in
powerful
his prime,
than
then you would have
this.
Sengoku and
まだ
Garp in
暴れ
their prime
足り
as
ない
well,
奴
so
がいるのなら
it would definitely be different.
来い俺たちが相手をしてやる
My nigga Shanks, man.
こいつらこれ式で俺は白ひげだ
Whitebeard's entrance
I am
at Marineford
Whitebeard.
is anime legend by now. His death's even more epic, but there's a moment in between that really says a lot about the kind of man he is. There's no honor in
goosebumps,
ganging
man,
up
the
on an
goosebumps.
opponent, even one as fearsome as the towering Whitebeard.
I don't know if this is top 3 though. I would say Shanks, the one before, is definitely better than this. As I say, like I don't really agree with the
お前
ranking.
その目は何だい
Number 2.
As you might already know, in One Piece, the Celestial Dragons aren't just nobility, but practically godlike. Even the carefree Luffy understands that they're not to be trifled with, no matter what atrocities they commit. Well, he gets it in theory, at least anyway, but when the idiotic Saint Charlos shoots Hachi at the slave auction and Luffy gets that glint in his eye, you know it's not going to end well for the high-handed noble. Hachi's entreaties to Luffy to let the matter slide, even going to the extent of saying he deserves to be shot, makes no difference to Luffy, who marches up to Charlos
you are going to
and
get
socks
hit
him
in the
face.
face. 100%.
One punch and Charlos is out for the count. Apparently, that fishbowl-like headgear the Celestial Dragons wear isn't exactly much protection. What Luffy does is audacious, even for someone who's in the habit of doing the exact opposite
suicide,
of what
though.
he's
Him
told.
doing that
But seeing a
was
bully
basically
get what he
suicide, but
deserves is
doesn't care.
immensely satisfying.
Yo. This arc was actually a really good arc.
And that brings us to number 1, and it's Zoro's finest hour yet.
Okay, alright. I have to give him props. Man. Because after seeing what he ranked for number 2, I had to question in my mind, what would he have for number 1? And if this was not number 1, I would have to come off the video and I probably wouldn't even post it. But I 100% agree with this.
In the
here.
service of
This
his
is
captain.
definitely the best moment. Top 10, number 1 moment of One Piece. 100%.
Having realized that Luffy and the rest of the crew are too exhausted from their battle with Gecko Moria and his zombie army to have any real chance of survival against Bartholomew Kuma, Zoro makes the ultimate sacrifice. Unknown to them, the proud swordsman gets down on his knees and asks the warlord to spare Luffy and the others, offering himself up for punishment on their behalf. Due to the nature of Kuma's powers, that means taking all of Luffy's pain and fatigue into his own body. I'll show you hell, Kuma promises, reminding Zoro that he might not survive the ordeal. Zoro does survive it somehow, and when Sanji later finds him covered in blood but still standing, he asks what happened. Nothing happened. A typical answer from a man of few words, and yet it's so telling. It's just one of the many things that make this strong and loyal pirate such a badass. The fact that Luffy doesn't know about this little incident to this day makes this moment even more special.
It just shows you. This was top 10 most badass moments in One Piece, man. And I did agree with half of the rankings. I didn't agree with all of them, but damn, it's gonna be a long ass video that I have to edit, man. Anyway, that was the end of the video. If y'all enjoyed that video, man, do me a favor and mirror that like button if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below what you want to see the kid react to next as usual. And don't forget to join the family, man, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the kid. Thank y'all for 400 subscribers, man. Road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, man. Mark my words. Yes, sir. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.